Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Tom. Go by Papa Hacks Online. Today we're going to be going through the Sokudo lab on BugForge. And this particular version is a broken access control vulnerability. So I'm testing out a new format for these videos. And what I want to do is just go through what the vulnerability actually is, just really quick before I jump right into the uh, solution. So let's go through that really quick. So broken access control is exactly what it sounds like. It really just refers to a user being able to uh, access data or perform actions that they're not really supposed to be able to do. Um, Here you've got a few different types. This isn't an all-inclusive list, but you have vertical access control issues where a user might be able to perform some sort of admin actions that they're not really supposed to be able to do. Horizontal access control issues where a user may be able to view data or see things belonging to another user that they're not supposed to be able to see. And then context dependent really just refers to the application state and how the user interacts with the application. So um, the good example from Portswigger is, um, the application may prevent you from uh, modifying your cart after you've gone on to payment or something like along those lines. um so a couple of examples here. um I mentioned for a vertical access control, you might have unprotected admin functionality, like if you just are able to navigate to slash admin, or if there's not access control mechanism on, a delete user functionality or something like that, you could have issues. Being able to view another user's information, that could be things like their PII, could be API keys, it could be anything else that's stored in the application that you as yourself are not supposed to be able to see, right? There's always, that big caveat, you're not supposed to be able to do it. And then there might be cases where there are, if you have a multi-step process, there might be access control mechanisms on certain parts of the process but not on others, or there might be access controls on certain HTTP methods, but not on others. So these are all things that you need to kind of be aware of and test for when you're looking at an application and you're looking at access control and trying to find access control issues. Um, so protections, just real quick, obviously not an all-inclusive list, but security through obscurity is not a thing. Regardless of whether your endpoint is advertised or documented or not, if it's there, an attacker's going to find it, and they're probably going to do bad things. Um, Typically, you'll want to deny access by default unless a resource is meant to be public. Uh, and then, to the extent possible, try to use one mechanism across your entire application instead of relying on individual um, mechanisms in different parts of your application. It makes it a lot easier to get things wrong doing it that way. And then you also want to make sure that your API endpoints are protected. Just removing an option from the web UI isn't sufficient to uh, protect that functionality or protect the data if there's not an access control mechanism on the API endpoint as well. And then you also want to thoroughly test on a regular basis to ensure that your access controls are working the way that they're intended to, that no changes in the application have introduced breaking changes to your access controls, and things are still working correctly. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the application. So like I said, we're doing Sokudo on BugForge, and this is uh, a a speed typing application. So here you can kind of look around. You've got your stats endpoint. So far nobody has done anything. So we'll just do a real quick test here. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. All um okay, so cool. We've done our speed test. Um Now down here we have the option to either do another session, we can view our stats, or go back to the dashboard. If we look at our stats, um, here, this is the session that we just did. Now you see on the leaderboard, we're winning. All right. So now if we go over to our proxy though, and we find this API stats endpoint, you can see that this is returning uh, what we just saw. So this is the results of our uh, most recent um, typing session. So what I want to do is I want to send that over to replay, get the data back. And now what I want to do is I want to check to see if there's access control on different HTTP methods. So I'm going to toggle this to a post. I'm going to copy all of this out of the response, and I'm going to put it over here. One important thing to note is by default, this sets uh, the content type to uh, URL encoded, and you want to change this to JSON. So content type should be application JSON. And I'm going to change this to 1,000 words per minute. So I can't post, but what about other methods like put? I can put. So what this is showing is that there are controls on uh like the post method isn't allowed, but there's no controls on the put method to ensure that uh a normal user can just send a put request with modified data to uh corrupt the stats um for whatever reason, right? So here we get the flag, right? All right, yeah. So that's it for this lab. I hope you enjoyed it. I think this was a really good introduction to broken access control, and some of the things to consider when you're testing for different types of access control issues. Uh, yeah, thought it was a really good lab. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did as well, and we'll see you next time.